Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome along to your Monday Rangers Rabble afternoon show. My name's Bryan. I'm hosting today, and with me today is Alan. Alan, how are we?
I'm very good after yesterday, Brian. You know how it's good to be back on me. So it's been a wee while.
Absolutely, yes. As Alan's saying, good results for both the men and the women yesterday. So we have obviously got a lot to talk about tonight on the women's show. We're reacting to obviously the Old Firm win yesterday in the League Cup semi-final. So we will speak all about that at 6:30 tonight, followed by the main pod at 7:30, where they'll be reacting obviously to the Rangers versus Fraserburgh game also. Now, it's always this time of day, Alan, where, how was the weekend?
It was a long weekend, night shift Friday, Saturday, so very, very long, but a few days off now to sort of recover and recuperate before going again. So it was a very big pick me up yesterday.
Absolutely. I mean, I must admit it was a great result for the girls. It was, was it one that you were, I'm not saying expecting, but with everything that happened pre the break, was it a worry going into that game?
It's always a worry getting into these games. You're always a wee bit uncertain how it's going to go. I think the most encouraging thing was the shape we lined up. We'd been the experiment that we had against City and Hibs before Christmas. We're back to what we know and what we're familiar with. So a very sort of tense first half, but getting an early goal in the second half really gave us a strong footing, and we never looked like losing from there.
No, we didn't actually. It was a good game to watch. I was in the pub watching it with a few friends, and there was a few folk watching it. So it was it was even bringing in a little bit of interest because obviously it was Rangers Celtic. So it was hopefully watched by a few that couldn't make it. How was the crowd?
We had quite a good crowd there. It was hard to tell from looking down how much the home crowd was, but they messed about and moved the fans to the opposite end of the ground than they usually do. So a wee bit of chaos before the game, getting sorted, but you kind of expect that visiting them. So, good crowd and good voice, and Scott Kearney's made a good point, the referee. But we'll talk about that at 6:30 tonight. But it's listen. These games are hard to look forward to, but they're always brilliant when you come out with a positive result. So, a trip to Tynecastle for a final.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I must admit the red card will certainly get some talk because even the boys on Twitter, I believe the ref's view even had an opinion on it. So we'll go through that as well at 6:30. But today, folks, there's only one place to start, and it's the time of day for this.
It's the question of the day. If you love a good question, then we're coming your way with the question of the day. Question of the day.
I still laugh at that.
It's much better than the first one. It's much better than the first one.
Yeah, definitely. So today, folks, question of the day is, now I always know that when you bring up a question about food or anything connected to it, it certainly gets people chatting and certainly strong opinions. So this one's going to be no different. What is your favourite condiment? Now, this could be, is this a case of this is the condiment you have with every meal? Or is there a condiment specific to what you're eating? So you adjust your condiments, or are you just solely one and that is it? It could be anything. Alan?
Brown sauce tops the list for me. The honourable mention for salt and vinegar, which if I'm having chips, are a must, but brown sauce for me. What about yourself, Brian?
I'm very much a mayonnaise man. I love my mayonnaise. I really do. I'm obsessed, maybe, possibly, but yeah, I love my mayonnaise. I even dabbled in the mayo chop, which was the mayonnaise mixed with tomato sauce. So yeah, really good. Now I just know this is going to absolutely explode here because, as I say, when we spoke about food in this before, the opinions were extremely strong or for or whatever way they went. So, you know, there's going to be lots of ones with this. Somebody's with you. Magical
Yeah.
Bite right with you with the brown sauce. So
Got to approve of that.
Yep. Vinegar. Yep. John, I'll go right there. Absolutely. Oh, this is a new burger sauce.
It seems to be becoming more and more popular in places. You know, everybody advertising their own sort of burger sauce. So, you know, it's definitely something that's coming to the fore.
Yeah. Oh, now this is a bit fancy. Nando's Peronaise.
I believe it is.
Oh, I've never heard that one. Is that any good?
No idea. Never tried it, but apparently it's quite cheeky.
Now, I think this is a must when you're having steak. Garlic butter.
Nope. Would not touch out a barge pole. But I'm known for being quite fussy with my food, so I'm quite plain in my tastes.
Magical Bite Ride is very flexible, very adaptable. He goes with mayo as well, so that's good. Oh, non-brewed condiment on chips, never vinegar. You got a vinegar on chips, surely, Alan.
Oh, definitely for me. You know, I mean, non-brewed condiment, I suppose, is a substitute for it, but you know, it's got to be vinegar.
Yeah. Now, which brown sauce do you have, Alan? Do you, AJ, like the daddy's brown sauce on a pie when he was a kid? But has it got to be HP for you?
HP is what I buy. You know, sometimes it's nicer in the chippy, whatever they've got, you know, just for something a bit different. But if I'm buying, it's HP brown sauce.
Yeah, very popular one. Vinegar for multiple man. Timothy, tomato sauce. Surprised that's the first time we've seen tomato sauce. I thought that would be getting a bit more shouts, but no. A spicy mayonnaise. Yeah, that depends what you're eating, I think. Because if you're needing something just to give it a little kick, like if you're having a burger or a chicken burger or something, a little bit of spicy mayo wouldn't go a bad shout there, would it?
No, definitely. Sometimes you just want that extra wee bit on whatever it is you're having. Burgers and sort of chicken burgers are a great example you're using. So yes, guys, I love tomato sauce is for kids. So
I'm mayo, barbecue sauce, and tomato sauce depending on my mood. So yeah, she's very flexible. Tess, she'll have whatever is in the mood. Oh, what's this? We do a bone marrow butter spread with our steaks in work. It's beautiful. Oh, didn't even realize that was a thing, Alan.
I've never heard of the bone marrow butter spread, but I've definitely seen it becoming more and more an option in some places. You go for steaks where there's a butter, and it's used to just be garlic butter, but it's not always garlic butter now, which is actually quite nice.
Yeah. Wolf's with you as well. Brown sauce with a fry up, mayo with everything else. So he's went with me and you at the same time.
I think with the sort of caveat you put to the question today, but you know, a lot of people will change it up depending on what you have. So, you know, it's just good that there's plenty of options out there.
Absolutely. Now, Charles is making me think about this stuff. I've got to go and try this stuff.
Yeah,
it seems to be getting
probably quite a jaunt for you to find a Nando's, but
well, yeah, it really is. I'm afraid it's not just down the road for the folk in the up here. So yeah, I'd have to go out of the way to go and try that. But yeah, there's a lot of people giving it the Peronaise, HP for Magical Bike Ride. Baconaise is also baconaise. Is that bacon mayo?
I'm assuming it's some sort of bacony flavoured mayonnaise, but I've not even seen that before. No. I think I've heard people mention it, but I've never seen it anywhere.
Now, is this one that's underrated? Worcestershire sauce.
Well done on pronouncing that. You know, it's some people usually trip over the tongue on, but no, not something I tend to have very often. So
No. It's a very, I think it's a very niche one, Worcestershire sauce. You have it for certain things. Heinz chili sauce and chips. Good shout. Good shout. A lot of people saying HP. They're right with you there. So yeah, I just knew and everything. There's a lot of foodies. I think is it Georgie's a chef, so yeah, he's coming out with some things, and I'm like, wow, takes a lot to make that. Anyway, it's also the who am I now. We'll do the who am I. Now I know it's a what would you call it, Alan? I wouldn't even say it's a strong lead just now. It's a pretty much an annihilation or one-way traffic just now, isn't it?
oh, it's complete domination. You know, it's absolute domination for the comments. So you know, we'll see how well you've done with this one.
Well, yeah, we will do.
One back for the team.
Absolutely, I'll give it my best. I reckon I've pulled one out of the bag here, but we shall see. We shall see. Right, I played 662 games over my career. I played in 4 different countries. I won, I believe, 7 major trophies. And I represented my country as well, but I'll not give the appearances just yet. Played at under 21s, well, right through the youth and right into the main team. So I won 7 trophies, 662 games, and I played in 4 different countries. So get your answers in. Remember the rule, 1 answer per person. None of this multiple. Just fire names in until you think you've got it right. You get 1 chance, and that is it. But we'll revisit this in a few minutes until we start speaking about Rangers now. And Alan, there's been moves, obviously, with the B team now being sort of put to the sideboard just now. So you've got the likes of Alan Lowry getting touted down to, I believe it was Wickham.
Wickham was Lancaster this morning.
Yeah, so the thing is as well, there's going to be guys who are going to get loaned out and probably never come back to the club like Lowry. But there's the guys like Robbie Fraser where they've went on loan and he's started really well at Livingston. But it's going to be a difficult choice for some of these young lads because a lot of them maybe don't want to leave, but at the same time, the situation the club is in with the youth, they really have no choice, have they?
No, and a lot of guys are probably in that sort of 21 to sort of 23 age bracket where they really need to be playing football, and if you've not broke into the first team at Rangers, they're probably not going to break in without going away for a long period of time and then maybe coming back. I think the B team get put in the back burner. It's not entirely scrapped, but it's going to be less in focus, and they're going to look to move people out and move people on loans. So I think we've got just over 10 days of transfer window. I think it'll be quite a busy sort of 10 days at the club, and mostly it'll be outgoings because I don't really see us bringing many people in.
No. I mean, he did. I think the manager did say, or there was the chief executive or whoever it was said there may be 1 or 2 coming in. We've already got 1, so that only leaves potentially space for 1 more. Going on the sort of youth, we played obviously Fraserburgh yesterday, 1-5-0. How surprised were you with that lineup in the sense that how strong the manager went, considering the B team had played them previously and won 5-0 up at Fraserburgh? Were you kind of surprised that a lot more of the youth didn't get a game or didn't start?
I was very surprised, and the game was technically a home game for us when the B team played him at Still and Albion, so kind of a bit in between. But I was very, very surprised we didn't see more starting. But I'm probably a hypocrite because I tend to say it's a better test to see young players when they come in and play amongst first team players. It wouldn't maybe tell us as much if it was a starting 11 full of youth team players, but I was very, very disappointed Bailey Rice didn't start. After a manager talking about him, and Yeah, he came on off the bench for a bit, but that's a game Bailey Rice could have been starting and given Diamandi a rest, playing with Connor Barnes. You know, Connor Barnes going to have to play in midweek. You know, just rest him, play Bailey Rice with Diamandi. You know, and I would have liked to see Archie Stevens involved in the squad. You know, I'm not sure if he wasn't fit or anything, but it was really encouraging to see Finlay Curtis come on in the second half and play.
Yeah, I mean, I think Finlay Curtis has been getting a lot of sort of press recently, obviously because he's scoring a lot of goals for the B team. Just a game against Fraserburgh where, you know, with all due respect to Fraserburgh, right? The result was probably never in doubt. Let's be fair. So I was expecting 6 or 7 youth with, as you say, a sprinkling of sort of first team players. You know, like, okay, I didn't mind Desser starting because obviously he's not played much, so he needed minutes. You know, there was other guys getting minutes, so you kind of got that. But I just couldn't believe how heavy, you know, like experience he went. I was just amazed, and as a lot of people are saying in the comments, you know, how Rice didn't start is baffling as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I think, you know, Bill Rice is kind of lightning rod for the criticism of your setup. You know, he's the one, you know, that the support have kind of pinned their hopes to, you know, and almost like a poster boy for the lack of youth involvement in the team. So, you know, RFC bang on. I would quite like to have seen Paul and Seal particularly in there. I think Josh Jennings is a wee bit further away from being ready, but you know, I thought, you know, it was just a really flat performance. You know, we put a very strong team out, and it really wasn't a particularly exciting watch. You know, that it kind of shows how much better we've actually been without having Dessers in the team. And not to jump on the guys, you know, Dessers has scored a lot of goals for us. Tav has been a great servant, but we just seem more likely to slow down and be more passive with these guys in the team. And I think it's just another sign we should be looking to build a future with these guys going forward.
Yeah. Question coming in from Blue Nose Sparky. Some Rangers fans have the opinion that we should always start with our strongest team. What do you lads think? Well, personally for me, I wasn't expecting a strong team yesterday. I was, as I said, I was expecting 6 or 7, you know, youth players with a sprinkling of first team, considering that the B team had beaten Fraserburgh comfortably not long before. So, you know, you weren't really scared of playing a lot of youth in that game. And obviously with Manchester United coming up midweek, I was thinking of that in mind as well. We're not, you know, chancing players getting injured. So that was...
I generally agree with that point Blue Nose makes. I would rather we had a more consistent team. You know, personally, I would have put 3 or 4 young guys in a very strong team yesterday, but you know, it was 2, which was just a wee bit disappointing. But you know, I saw somebody actually ask why we started Proper if we're going to need them, but I think that's a partnership that might be quite important for the rest of the season, Proper and Ciala. So I think it's important that guys get games together. Yeah. You know, and I've slated Proper all season, but he has looked a lot more assured playing on the right hand side with Clinton and Ciala beside him. So that has to be encouraging.
You've just mentioned him there. I was going to bring him up. You know, Clinton and Ciala. You've obviously watched a lot of the B team this season. I believe one of the first games you went to, you actually got sent off quite quickly in one game. Or
it was actually the last game I went to, or they get riled up by one of our former players, Zach Rodden. I didn't actually see what he did, but I believe he's just get fed up and punched him. So, you know, it's a bit different playing in the Italian youth setup to playing professional football in Scotland. You know, you're going to get these characters, these strikers, you know, and you're going to come up against them as centre halves. He's been up at Dundee and played and dealt with Simon Murray, you know, and guys like these, you know, they're more than decent pros, you know, but they're going to give defenders a real hard time, make sure defenders know they've been in a game. So when Clinton and Seala really develops and get used to coming up against that, he's really shown that he's got a lot of talent there, and there's a lot of potential with the boy, but we need to nurture him properly and actually bring that out.
I mean, when you watched Seala and the B team, did you see anything in his play and in his style that you thought, he could do something for the first team? Or is it just what you just said? Is it too difficult or too big a jump from the B team up to the first team?
No, I think anybody watching the B team could see that potential. You could just see that it was raw and he needed some sort of minutes. He needed to develop a wee bit and cope with the physical side, because he's got the physical attributes, but it's a mentality thing, seeing you're on and dealing with playing against professional players and adults, and you're getting bodied about, it's a mentality and almost an aggression thing. You need to learn how to control and adapt to that, because he clearly had the range of passing, he clearly had the physical presence, he's got a great deal of pace. Even as a centre back, he can get forward. He could do a job at left back, but I'm really not a fan of us constantly shuffling players about and playing him out of position. But we've seen how quick he likes to get the ball forward, and real sort of raking passes that are finding wingers in space, and that helps us get teams turned around. So, there's a lot of tools, there's a lot of potential with boy, but we just need to not build him up to be a superstar just yet and see how he develops.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually pleased. I was pleasantly surprised by his distribution. As you just mentioned, his range of passing. He just seemed comfortable, sort of spraying balls all around. Moving forward with the ball. I like that he's a left footer as well, Alan. I like that he's, we've got a left foot and right foot centre half. I quite like that. I don't know if that's just me, but I like the balance that gives the.
Well, I think it massively helps us. We saw a couple of years ago, how we settled in and got a lot more balance playing Calvin Bassey there, and he's obviously going to draw comparisons here. He's a left-sided centre back, young prospect, hadn't played any first team football before he came here, but we don't want to get sort of too carried away. But if that's the sort of new gen player we're going to look at bringing in, then it's definitely something to be encouraged, rather than sort of overpaid sort of 28-year-olds who are just not contributing for big wages.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of the youth and the players that could potentially come up that you've sort of witnessed and watched. Finlay Curtis came on, Bailey Rice played. Seala's featured recently. Is there anybody else that you think that could still stay at Rangers and potentially contribute to the first team, or do you feel that that's as many as we're getting just now?
It's very difficult to see a huge number of young players breaking through at the same time. You very rarely see that at any club in the world, but definitely got hopes for Archie Stevens. Being able to contribute more. And Paul and Seal was mentioned earlier in the comments. Much like Clinton and Seala, he's got the physical attributes. He has to be able to carry that into the sort of men's game. We kind of glossed over the fact that we did have Zach Lovelace even starting. It's very rare that we've actually been able to see him in the first team, and we wanted to see that for a long time. So it's good to see him getting minutes and getting more involved, and I'd hope to see him continue to be involved as the season goes.
Absolutely. Well,
I saw also Christian Webster was another one that's already went and won. I've been impressed with him in the B team. And there's every chance he'll go on and make more appearances for Rangers than his old man did.
Yeah,
so we'll see how he gets on at the bottom. I
know, yeah, absolutely. So we'll go revisit the question of the day, and then at 28 minutes we will call time on the answer, the answers. So I said that he played 662 games in his career. He won 7 major trophies, playing in 4 different countries. He scored 366 club goals. and he represented his national team 76 times. So I don't think if I give anything more, I believe I would be virtually giving it away. So I can't really delve too much. I've gave the goals, the appearances, where he played. Well, not specifically where, but 4 different countries. Pretty much 4 of the major, apart from England, he played in 4 major leagues. So that's the.
So 5 leagues. Is that 5 leagues in total, apart from England?
4. He played in 4 leagues, and England is not one of them.
Right.
So he didn't play in England, and he played in 4 major leagues. So I'm going to leave it at that. But I mean, Alan, it's a difficult time for like the youth now. I mean, as we've spoken about before, there's lots of things happening there. I think they've pretty much decided that the B team is not fit for purpose. We've known that for a while. Where do we go with Rangers youth? Where does this leave? Where does this leave our program as far as trying to bring through our own youth? Where do we go from here? Pretty much. How do we attract the best young players to come to Rangers and develop under us? Where do we go?
I think we make sure we treat Clinton and Sella well, and that helps us bring in young players. If you come in, take your time, settle in and develop, then there is a pathway into first team. We have to continue cutting the squad. There's obviously been a lot of talk over the last year about trimming the numbers down, in terms of the wage bill. So once we move it, players like, Dessers, Dowell, Lawrence, Matondo, all these guys in big wages that are not contributing, then there's more scope for young players to actually come in and feature. But where we actually need to give these boys a chance is we actually need to be going and killing games off, being able to blood these boys when there's not so much pressure. You imagine a furore through the stands if we send on a couple of young boys when we're 0-0 at home after 60 minutes against Hibs or something. That's a real sort of pressure cooker environment to put young boys into. And granted, sometimes you need to see if boys will sink or swim, but you look at Leon King, in the midst of an injury crisis, he gets flung in the deep end and he's still not recovered for that.
No, we absolutely hung him out to dry. We really did. He played in the who am I? He played in Holland, Germany, Italy, and Spain. That is your last clue. That's the 4 major leagues he played in. No more clues. If there's any last minute shouts, I'll give you till 29:30 seconds. So you've got a minute. Good question. Good answers coming in, I must admit.
I think Bob's missing it a wee bit with Stefan Kloss.
I was just about to say 300 odd goals, no chance. But I love the variation of names that come in, because there's some names that come in. I think I'm Alan. I'm like, I forgot about him. There's a couple coming in. I'm like, oh geez, I forgot about him. But we're nearly there, folks. 15 seconds. Is this a win for the? For us? Is it?
Probably.
It looks like it.
Holland, Italy, Germany, and Spain.
Yes. Even multiple man stumped. There you go. We even managed to snooker him with this one. So there we go. Have you any ideas, Alan?
No, I thought Rabble, but he didn't play in France and Italy, so no.
Well, we'll go through some of the answers first that folk gave, and then we'll go to we'll go through the answer. So, De Bruyne. Now I did say England wasn't one of the countries, didn't I? So,
I think I came in before you gave that clue.
Yeah. Cannavaro is a good shout. I don't think he played in Holland, did he?
I don't think he played in Germany either.
No. Iniesta, don't think, did he play in Germany? Don't think so.
He's played in Japan as well, so that
Yeah. Quaresma, that was a good shout.
very good player.
Very good player. Lewandowski, don't think he played in Holland either. Can't think. Don't think he's played in Italy either, has he?
No.
No. That was a good shout. Higuain. That was a good shout. Now, this one was, I thought somebody was getting reasonably warm in the sense that they were going down the Dutch route, because a lot of people would have forgot that Romario played in Holland for, I believe, PSV.
I think he did, yeah.
Yeah, with Bobby Robson. And Ronaldo as well. He played in Holland as well, believe it or not. That was his first European destination. So then he went to, obviously, Barcelona. Then he went to Inter. So, yeah, folk were starting to get warm with him. Obviously, Kluivert, I think he's played, but then he played for Newcastle, didn't he?
Yeah.
So I like that one as well.
James's partner's boy did at the weekend.
Yeah. Now, this one, I think, was, that was one that a lot of folk would have probably said, because he certainly played in all four of the leagues that I mentioned, but it wasn't him. Schneider, I think he's definitely played in Germany. He's definitely played in Holland, obviously. Spain. He played in Italy.
He played with Inter Milan.
Oh, but there you go. So another one. But I think when I said the amount of goals that he scored, it was obviously a striker. So it wouldn't have been Edvard Davids. Seedorf wouldn't have scored the goals, although he played pretty much in every league across Europe apart from England. Ronaldinho, don't think he played in Holland. And then obviously Marco van Basten, but I believe he just played in Holland and Italy, didn't he? I don't think he played anywhere else. So I played for Ajax, Schalke, AC Milan, Real Madrid. That was my four major clubs. Any takers yet, Alan?
Who was a French club?
I didn't say France.
No. Holland, Italy, Germany.
Holland, Italy, and Germany and Spain. Any hints? No?
The closest I saw in the comments that made me think was Klaas-Jan Huntelaar.
Bingo.
If you so Colin Williams put that in at 1 o'clock there.
Oh, has he? Well, 1 o'clock. What time would that have been? Yeah, Colin Williams at 1 o'clock. But unfortunately, it was after. Yeah, it was after the cut off, wasn't it? But yeah, it was Klaas-Jan Huntelaar. Played for Schalke, Ajax, Real Madrid, and AC Milan, scoring a bucket load of goals for all the clubs that he played for. And even, I think, Huntelaar played at Schalke, and they weren't actually that really good, but he stayed there for a long time and was quite loyal, wasn't he?
Yeah, there was a lot of players that stayed at Schalke and were quite loyal, even when they really dropped off and started to struggle. So,
absolutely,
massive club, really struggling to get back at the second division.
Absolutely,
in Germany.
Yeah, same as a Hamburg. Hamburg can't get out of that league to save their lives. They're just terrible. They get
the playoffs pretty much every year and then blow up.
Well, they seem to go on a great run and get like top of the league, and then, as you say, they just explode, and that's their season over. And it must be so frustrating as a Hamburg fan. But it is now Martin 6, comments 23. Clawed one back. We've clawed one back, Alan.
Then even very fair from multiple man, so
Very difficult but fair. That's what I like. I like it to be difficult but fair. So yeah. If multiple man doesn't get it straight away, you know you're on to a winner. Simple as that. So yeah, Klaas-Jan Huntelaar was the man today. So thank you very much, Alan.
Oh, thanks, Brian. It's always a pleasure.
Absolutely. And as I said earlier, we will be back at 6:30 tonight with the women's show. Obviously, looking back at the Old Firm win. yesterday in the League Cup semi-final would go on to play Hibs in the final. I think Hibs was always expected to beat Aberdeen, weren't they, in the other semi?
Yeah, I think that was pretty much expected. You know, it would have been a massive shock had Aberdeen made it through, but
Yeah.
3-0 for Hibs, you know, was quite comfortable for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And then, of course, the main pod is on at 7:30. They'll be reacting to, obviously, everything that happened yesterday in the game. I dare say they'll speak about a lot of the possible ins and outs that are happening at the club. But then, until then, we shall see you very, very soon.